Hello and welcome back to another episode of In the Cutting Room. Today, we are going to talk behind the scenes of how we put together one of our biggest productions. I want to kind of walk you through how we thought about the idea, how we thought about creating it, and then also the plan of what we were going to do after we did this. Because there was a lot that went into this shoot, but we also were really purposeful of how we might be able to use this content for the future to really extend the lifetime of the shoot, the value of the content that we created. I am really excited about how this turned out. It was one of our best campaigns, and I think it really sets the tone of where we can go as a studio to create content for brands. And I think it was just a really fun experience for us, first and foremost. But what I want to do is I want to kind of show you one of the videos that we first did, and then I'm going to kind of walk you through a few of the other versions that we did. We shot a ton of content in this day, and I want to just kind of first show you the video, then I'll actually talk through everything. If you're listening to this online or on a podcast, make sure just to go and watch this section. That way there's a little bit of context. But I'm going to share my screen and we're just going to jump right into it. Share screen. Boom. Let's go to air. All right. I've got an asset of these. Let's do this first one. So we shot YouTube and Meta content here. So I will just kind of show you the YouTube version first. Alrighty, here we go. A minute and a half.
We asked random people what's their biggest issue while sleeping.
I get hot.
Too hot.
Too hot.
Too hot.
Too hot. Too hot. Too hot. Too hot.
What do you hate about your current bedding?
They don't feel comfortable. Just too heavy.
Sometimes it might be a little bit rough and sometimes it's a little itchy. It's too hot.
It's not fluffy enough.
What do you look for when shopping for bedding?
Something that helps keep me cool. Something softer. Something that's smooth,
The softer it is, the better.
breathable, and stylish.
What kind of sheets do you currently sleep on?
Cotton. Cotton. Cotton?
Cotton. Always cotton.
But how will cotton stack up against Buffy in our blind test?
It's making me itchy. I feel like it's just super rough.
This one feel a little stiff.
These feel like the paper towels. I don't like these. I like these.
I feel like the one in my right hand here would actually be cooler.
This one definitely feels better on my skin, I would say.
This one feels cooler than this one does.
How does Buffy feel?
Oh, yeah.
Comfortable. Oh, this is nice.
I like this. No itchy, no scratchy.
Oh, it's such a really nice, soft feel to it.
Better than all the hotels I've stayed in.
Would you choose Buffy over your standard bedding?
I would definitely choose this over my current bedding.
I would totally choose these sheets over my current sheets.
It's a lot cooler than my comforter at home.
This is better than my duvet cover at home.
This one is much nicer, much lighter. I would definitely prefer this to what I currently have.
Try for $7.93 at buffy.co.
All right. So that is the context. That's what we did. I'll give you a little bit more context because you might not see it completely in that one ad, but we did like a bunch of ads on that one shoot. And then we've done a whole lot of other iterations and changes. And I'll show you some of the changes we've made. But our whole goal was we wanted to get people to touch and feel the sheets because we knew that when people use this product, it just is such a game changer for them. There's a huge difference of feel, of lightness, the material, and genuinely you feel like when you touch it, it is cold. It feels cool. It's cool to the touch. And we really wanted to show that in a powerful way. And for a long time, we've been doing kind of your classic direct response ads. We've been doing a lot of the stuff that you would think most brands would do. But we wanted to try something different. We wanted to do something that was more of a campaign, was more of a moment, was something that we could really work off of. We thought that this idea of strangers testing things was really great. Then we thought about it from, there's a YouTube channel called Cut, and they do very viral videos. And their videos are like, we asked 100 people about who you love the most, and it's just like 100 people, and they're asking, they're answering the same question over and over, and you're cutting through all of this, and it's shareable. It's like very viral. It's like a beautiful video. And we wanted to take that same kind of concept, but use it for Buffy. We wanted to try and figure out how can we get a bunch of strangers to experience the sheets and be able to get their raw reactions to them. Now, we had that idea, but executing that idea is very different and really hard to do. What we decided was we were going to try to find 50 people who could come into a studio. We were going to like have the bed, everything. They weren't going to know what this shoot was, which was hard at times. Be like, come in to product test some stuff and we're going to record you, and you don't know who we are. Luckily for us, we search and use talent all the time. So that was not something that was new to us. Getting talent, creating content like this was not like we've never done this before, but we've never done it at this level of coordination. We knew that we were going to have a set amount of questions. We were going to blindfold them, bring them in, ask them questions because we wanted to get them to get into the space of what it's like to sleep, what are their issues, understand those things. And then from there, give them the Buffy experience. But they will also maybe talk about their problems, things that they're looking for. And then this allows them to test out and try Buffy and how that could be different than what they're currently using. And then they can compare it. They have vocabulary and things like they've already been talking about bedding. So when they go and test it, they can have that comparison of basically what they were just talking about. We used Facebook groups, backstage. We used our whole network. We emailed out all of our actors that we've worked with and just been like, hey, who's available on these 2 days? We had a big crew come in, set up sound, video, all that stuff. And, our video team was able to be there, but we needed extra lighting. We needed extra sound people to make sure that everything went smoothly. So we were coordinating all of that. We had to coordinate a bunch of different schedules. So we made a Calendly, and we had talent come in at 15-minute chunks. We basically had them come in for the hour, and then they were there, and we basically used them for 15 minutes. And we just went through a bunch of different people, every single one from top to bottom for 2 days straight. And then the hardest part about this shoot was you didn't script it. You didn't know what you were going to get. We had set questions that we wanted to ask them. And then we knew that we wanted to get reactions, and we knew that we wanted to get things that would really pop, but we didn't know how that was going to go. Luckily, I think what we do a really good job of is prompting. And prompting is about asking the right questions or giving people the right word, not giving them the right words, but kind of giving them, hey, you mentioned this about cotton sheets and how that makes it really scratchy to you. How does this feel comparative to that scratchy feeling that you feel at home? I'm asking that question in a way that I know is going to get an answer that could be used for performance. Now, I wasn't actually asking the questions. Sabina, our one of our creative strategists who was on the project, was the one asking. She did a phenomenal job. So shout out to Sabina. This was a big shoot for her, big shoot for everybody, really. But she did a great job of being able to ask those questions. The prompting is about understanding where is this piece of content going to be? How are we going to use this for performance? And then making sure that we're extracting the right answers and one-liners, and we're saying, hey, can you say that one more time? We want to make sure that you said that correctly. Or can you say that again? Or say that in a different way. All of that is done because the director of this content is the one that came up with the idea, is the one that is seeing the performance and seeing the edit all the way through. What's different about how we create content and how we are doing production is that a lot of times the traditional way of production is you've got a whatever, some marketing agency coming up with the idea, and then they hire out a production company to then shoot the content, and then the marketing agency gets the content and goes to the client. It's like this whole like lots of people touching it, all this stuff. But production doesn't actually is not really hired for strategy. It's not hired for performance or any of that stuff. Whereas the way we do things is the strategy and the performance is built inside of how we're shooting content. And I think that creates a very like great dynamic to what we actually can output for clients, for brands and things like that. And in this case, it was super important that all of that was really streamlined and connected because the person who was directing the shoot is also the one that is looking for those one-liners, is looking and thinking about the edit and thinking about how this is going to perform in the ad account because they've been in the ad account for 6-7 months at this point, right? So there's all these different things that come into play that allowed us to be able to ask the right questions and get the right responses. At the end of the day, though, product really matters, right? Like this wouldn't have worked if we didn't have a good product. If we didn't have a product that actually felt cool. Like this is not like people are like making this up. It's like it's a very physical when you touch it and you feel it and you sleep in it, it's amazing. Buffy also offers a 7-day trial. So it's not like, oh, this is a risky thing. It's like they do this. This is how they get people to buy. We basically allowed people to do the 7-day trial in the ad right then without them having to like, sign up, get the sheets or do any of that stuff. We were able to give them that experience, that trial experience right then and there. I would say that this is a very difficult concept to pull off because you really have to be good at asking questions and listening. There were times where I also asked questions or I did step in. So I was listening to literally every response. I was in the room the whole time, making sure that everything was going well and smoothly. But you have to have people who know performance and know how these one-liners are going to come and cut and make an edit to get this. That's really, really hard to do. It comes down to preparing. It comes down to knowing what you want out of this shoot. And then from there, making sure that you're getting that in those moments. And if it's not what you're getting, being able to think on your toes to prompt and get the answers that you're looking for is hard to do. But if done well, you'll get a lot out of this shoot. Now, we were shooting for YouTube and Meta, so we shot horizontally. We had 2 cameras set up for the interviews, and then we had another third camera on a gimbal. So when they went to go and be in the bed, we had a close-up shot, we had the wide shot in the studio of the bed, and we're able to get their reactions and follow them and do all this stuff. We were able to shoot it wide enough where even when we cut vertically, we were able to get a great, like for Meta, it looks good, but then also for YouTube, it looks good. It was really hard to be like, should we optimize for Meta or for YouTube? And it was just like, if you shoot vertically, it's going to look terrible on YouTube. So we want to opt for some of those wider shots horizontally so that we could crop in vertically and it would look amazing and still look really good. And I think we did a really good job of being resourceful of our time and the cameras that we had and just getting it all done. Technically speaking, you could have shot horizontally and vertically at the same time, but I genuinely feel like that would not look good because the eye contact to the camera would be off and it just wouldn't have looked as great. And I think we ended up with a really good end product. Beyond that, we had a lot of different edits or cuts that we wanted to make, but we also knew that we were going to get a ton of people so that we could always cut, iterate, and reuse this content months later. And I think that's what's really great is that this is definitely something that we can be using and iterating and optimizing for over a long period of time. In that ad that I just showed you, that's not even like all of the people responding. There was a ton of people that came in that had great answers that we could just play with, pull from. And I think that's really exciting because there's nothing worse than putting a lot of time and effort and even money into a shoot and only getting a few things out of it. And if it doesn't work and there was no plan on how you could use this footage or use, like, do something different from it, then it just feels like, we just put a lot of time and effort and money into this thing and now it's like not usable. Whereas we had planned for not necessarily backup plans, but we knew that like, yo, we're gonna get like a treasure trove of a ton of content. And even if you had just 10 out of the 50 reactions were like amazing, you are still gonna get like a bunch of commercials and cuts from it that it's gonna be awesome. We got lucky that like literally everybody gave us great responses. So like we have months of content. Now, I think what we did was really great to start, but what's cool is how we were able to change it up and iterate on it. And what I want to kind of show you is an iteration that we made just this month. So this is a few months later. I'm going to share my screen again, and I'm going to kind of show you and walk you through what we did for this one. This is the iteration now.
Oh, yeah.
Comfortable. Oh, this is nice. I like this.
Oh, that's such a really nice soft feel to it.
It's better than all the hotels I've stayed in.
What happens when you ask 50 people what problem they have sleeping?
I get hot.
Too hot.
Too hot.
Too hot.
Too hot. Too hot. Too hot. Too hot.
What do you hate about your current bedding?
They don't feel comfortable.
Just too heavy.
Sometimes it might be a little bit rough and sometimes it's a little itchy.
It's too hot.
What do you look for when shopping for bedding?
Something that helps keep me cool.
Something softer, something that's smooth.
The softer it is, the better.
Breathable and stylish.
What kind of sheets do you currently sleep on?
Cotton.
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 Stack up our blind.
Which one?
Like the one.
This one definitely feels better on my skin, I would say.
This one feels cooler than this one does.
Would you choose Buffy over your standard bedding?
I would definitely choose this over my current bedding.
I would totally choose these sheets over my current sheets.
It's a lot cooler than my comforter at home.
This is better than my cover at home.
This one is much nicer, much lighter. I would definitely prefer this to what I currently have.
Try for 7 nights free at buffy.co.
Amazing. So really a core change that we did was have reactions at the beginning. I think at first we thought, okay, let's actually just have the context. We asked 50 people what to do, right? So thinking about if this was on YouTube, you'd probably see the thumbnail and title. Can we get the kind of thumbnail title at the very beginning? And ask all the questions. Now that you have the context, boom, jump into the reaction. How is Buffy different? How does it stack up? All that fun stuff. In this case, what we did was we changed it so that there was reaction, reaction, reaction. Oh, what is this? What are they testing? Okay, these are sheets clearly. What's going on? Okay, boom. Now you give them context. And then it goes into more reactions and testing and all of those things. What's great about this ad is that usually you're telling people why your product is great. You're telling people, buy my product because you'll never sweat again, right? But in this case, it was not us telling you why you should buy these sheets. It's other people experiencing it and saying why these are better. And it's never like, it's not direct response, meaning like, it's not like, again, me saying to you why you should buy Buffy, but it has this lens of performance. It's cut in a way where we are intentional about what is being said on screen that makes you want to buy these sheets. And I think that this was a really great ad. And I love that we're able to cut it up and try different cuts and do different things. And again, we have a lot of other questions, a lot of other responses. And so we can really find like what's working, what's not working, and use data to be able to iterate and optimize over a long period of time. What I also want to do though is also share my screen and kind of show you the vertical version of this just so you can kind of get a feel for it. I just picked a random one, but yeah, I'll just show you something how it looks vertically for Meta.
What happens when you ask 50 people what problem they have sleeping?
I get hot.
Too hot.
Gets too hot.
Too hot.
I'll get too hot.
Too hot. Too hot. Too hot.
I like this. It has that cooling feel.
Yeah, I can feel the coolness.
The cooling off feeling is really nice.
Made from eucalyptus lyocell,
It feels super silky.
Oh my god, it's so silky and smooth.
It's really soft.
Soft. Soft. Soft.
designed to wick away moisture better than cotton.
My partner would be much cooler in this.
Highly breathable, yet durable.
This actually feels like a cloud.
I feel like I'm on a cloud
I love how lightweight they are.
Because I always feel like I need something on top of me, even if I'm hot.
Keeping you cool, yet cozy all night long.
Oh, yeah. This is super nice.
Buffy.co.
I'm ready to close my eyes right now.
I don't even want to talk. I just want to fall asleep right here.
Yeah, good night, guys. I'm going to sleep.
Boom. Okay, you can also tell in this ad, we were able to weave in product features or benefits and then use that in conjunction with reactions. So it kind of broke up like a reason to buy, and it would go into a reaction and then go back into a reasons to buy reactions. And so the flow of this ad was really punchy, really great. And I think that again, you can see like there's some reactions and people in here that weren't even in the YouTube videos. It's like we had a ton of content that we can work off of. And then when you think about big bets, you want to think about what's the lifespan of a big bet, not just what you're going to get initially, but what can you use and how can you use this over a long period of time? Can you use the footage, the B-roll for other ads? Are you able to mix this? We're now able to take these reactions and even these videos and now stitch this with more of the other content that we've shot in homes and using talking heads and customers and UGC and all this stuff. Now we have a dynamic, diverse ad library because we're able to play with these different styles, and this can be kind of like that hero campaign and we can work off of it. I truly believe that you gotta take big risks. Not all the time. You definitely need your tried and true kind of performance ads, the things that you see out there. Like you do need that. But you can also see like how you can be playful with your ad creative. You can still sell and have performance, but do it in a way that's unique, that stands out, that is not what you typically see. And also, we built this concept off of viral videos, right? These videos, there's multiple YouTube channels that take this formula. So we knew that this is a working formula. Like we weren't like, well, people think this is an ad or what? Like, we don't know. It's like, no, people watch these videos. Like, we have proof, maybe not from Buffy specifically, but like this concept is not new. Bringing strangers into something to test it out, blind testing, all that stuff, millions of views, racks it up all the time. So why don't we just take that concept that we know that's in organic social, kind of works in culture, and make it for the brand? Yes, there's risk, but it's a little bit more de-risk because we kind of know that it can work. The biggest risk is execution. Like, will we get good answers? Will we ask the right questions to get those answers? Will we prompt in the right way? Luckily, because we do this a lot, we shoot in person multiple times a week. We're used to this. We're used to working with talent, producing these types of shoots, and we're used to being able to talk and extract value out of an actor or person to get their real review, honest feedback, all those things to then capture that into a moment and put that into an edit that creates a great ad. I am stoked with this ad. I think it turned out great. Not only that, it performs, and we're able to then iterate and work off of it and do more content from there. I believe we are also, I think just like my team has been inspired by that time to say, what other crazy ideas can we do? What other big ideas can we do for all of our clients, for all of our brands? And I think it's really pushed us. And it's really fun to push the boundaries. It's a beautiful thing to do. And if you can do it with the lens of performance, it doesn't have to be wasteful. If you do it with the lens of what's the lifetime value that we can get out of a shoot like this, it becomes priceless. And I'm really excited about what we've been able to create. I loved being able to take you behind the scenes of how we kind of put this together, our thought process. I want to do more of these things. I want to show you more of what we're creating and how we're creating it, breaking down those ads, kind of showing you the differences. Let me know if you have any other questions on this shoot or other things that we've been doing. Happy to answer them. The point is to give you the director's cut in the cutting room where the decisions are made. I want to show you more of that. I hope that this was fun, helpful, engaging, and we're going to have a lot more podcasts, more content coming in the new year. So thank you so much. If you're listening, I appreciate you. You have no idea how grateful I am for you specifically. It really does mean the world to me, and I truly, truly mean that from the bottom of my heart. So thank you so much. Follow us, Goodo Studios. You can hit me up on Twitter, LinkedIn, all of the platforms. I'll be there. I'll see you later in the next episode. All right. Peace.